Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is your host, Jen Sugarmeyer, and this is Mindset in the Morning. It is 6 a.m. and I am feeling very bright and cheery on this Tuesday morning. I hope you all, if you are in the United States, I hope you had a wonderful Labor Day. Yesterday was Labor Day. And if you're not in the US, I hope you had a wonderful Monday, whatever it is. But it is Tuesday morning and I am feeling very bright and very cheery. I was feeling like that. I usually wear this when I go out, sometimes when I go out dancing. So yeah, or when I go eat Mexican food or, something that, whatever. Anyway, so feeling amazing. And as I had picked a topic for today. We're talking about communication. Yesterday, we spoke all about effective communication. And I was going to continue to talk about that. And this just really resonated with me. So I don't know who needs to hear this message today, but we're going to be talking about being bigger than your problems, how to let go. And it comes in our lives all the time when situations are creeping up where they just consume our energy. And so again, I don't know who needed to hear this. I had something else planned, but then I said, you know what? This is really resonating with me today. But first, we are live 5 days a week at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time, but it's YouTube, so you can tune in whenever you would like. And I would appreciate if you would subscribe. And if you are getting a lot of value out of this, I would love if you would share this with your friends as well, because this is us getting intentional about our minds in the morning and taking control of life. Life can lead you or you can lead life. You can tell your mind where to go, and you are just millimeter shifts from having the life that you want. And so we talk about these really important topics to help you step into your most powerful version of yourself. Literally, it's just millimeter shifts. And we're going to be talking about one of those shifts today. So I want you to live the life that you dreamed. I want you to have everything that you could imagine. And it is all in your mind and how you view the world and how you approach the world. And it's getting comfortable with yourself and confident with yourself. And so that is what we talk about here on Mindset in the Morning. So please please subscribe. And if you're getting massive value, please share this with your friends. So be bigger than your problems. I heard this last week. I was listening to a book. I think I got it from a book, Psycho Cybernetics, that I was reading. And when I heard this phrase, be bigger than your problems, I thought, oh, wow, I absolutely love that. And it just resonated with me. And, things are happening all throughout our day and they can just really irritate us. And it doesn't matter if it's the person that's driving that cuts us off, or if it's something really big, like maybe you got laid off. And this is relative. And I say big, but getting laid off doesn't have to be big. When I got laid off, I was like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. And I just moved on. So it's all in perspective, but it can be just these little tiny things that happen through the day. Like maybe your coworker does something and it really irritates you. And yeah, I mean, it's nothing huge, but it bothers you. It impacts you. I mean, you care. Or maybe it's something much larger. Whatever it is, I had this visual of like an elephant and then like the little mouse. And how do you want to be? Do you want to be the mouse or do you want to be the elephant? And the truth is that all day when things are happening, we choose where we want to put our energy. And it's really easy to get caught up in some of these things because they're absolutely annoying, or they can impact us. They can impact. It doesn't mean that they have to impact us. This is why we have to ask ourselves, are we bigger than the problem? Are we going to allow that thing to impact us, to ruin our day? I had a girlfriend one time, and she and her boss had a close relationship, an amicable relationship. There was nothing between the two of them, but she felt that they were very close, and he didn't tell her that he was leaving. So she got the announcement that her boss was leaving and that she was going to have, obviously she was either going to get a new boss, or turns out that she was going to be changing teams. And she called me in a tizzy. Like, I can't believe he didn't tell me. I can't believe I have to go to a new team. I mean, there were tears. She was so upset. She took, you know how they say, like, make a mountain out of a molehill? It means like a problem that's this big and you make it this big. We've all done that. We've all done, seen a situation and we're like, oh, it's ending. The world is ending. And then what happens when you play it forward and you see that, I guess that's not so bad after all. And that was her experience. So she had for a week, it was just like, I don't know. And she rejected the change. She's like, I don't want this change in my life. I'm upset at him. I can't believe I have to get this new team. I'm probably going to have a new job. I don't like that. She was absolutely resistant to any newness, any change. And so I asked her, I don't know, 3 weeks later or after she was into her new situation and her new boss and everything. And I said, so how are things? I mean, how's the new boss working out? And she was like, I love it. I love it. And I think this is a really beautiful example because these are the types of things like when we see change that is happening, or when we see somebody that, you know, uh, kind of annoys us or whatever that may be. When these things happen in our life, we have the choice to either give in to them in some negative aspect. Now, she could have fully embraced that situation and said, good, I love change. Like that means opportunity. And I mean, we could talk about all the different ways to look at that situation, but let's say it's either embrace or reject. So she rejected. She said, oh my gosh, this is something massive. And I'm not willing to, see the positive in the situation. So she rejected it. Now, this could also be somebody that's driving along and cuts you off. You don't have to get angry. You don't have to give in to that person that's driving down the road that cuts you off and make it all about you and let it ruin your day. And you can literally just be neutral to it. You could just let it go. It can not phase you. So are you bigger than whatever your problem or whatever that situation is? Are you the elephant or are you the mouse? So a few things that we can do to look at this, like when things are happening, play the situation out. Look at it in the long term. Is your boss changing? Is that going to change your life forever? Does it matter in the grand scheme of things? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, when I think about my life and a change in my boss, I don't want my life to be my life. I want more substance. I want to be focused on different things. Work is absolutely a component of your life. But are you living so that you can work, or are you working so you can live? In the United States, a lot of us are living for our job, not having the job allow us to live. When I lived in Italy, that was my biggest takeaway, is that people were there and they were working so that they could live. They were working so they could make enough money so that they could afford to have their house and their family and vacations and things of that nature. It wasn't that their job was the most important thing for them and they were living so that they could have that job. So where do you prioritize your job or whatever that thing is that's irritating you, that person that cut you off? Where do you prioritize that thing in the grand scheme of your life? And if that thing is really big, if that thing is something that you value at such a high level, then yes, when something happens to that, then it's going to seem really big. It's going to be an elephant in your life. But ask yourself, is that where you want to prioritize things? Do you want to have your job be the biggest and most important thing? And I think when most of us stop and really think about these things, we would say, no, absolutely not. My job is not the most important thing in my life. I've got my family, I've got friends, I love going on vacation, I enjoy going to concerts, and we would say all these other things that bring us joy and happiness. So, if that's the case, then why are we putting so much energy into something that isn't that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things? Or is that how you've prioritized things? Have you said, no, I want my job, or I want this person that cuts me off? This is so important in the grand scheme of things. Where does it fall? And ask yourself these questions. And if it's not the top priority, then just let it go. Go with the flow. We're just resisting. Change is inevitable. Change will always be inevitable. You will not have that job until your final day. You won't. Granted, let's say you pass when you're, very elderly. You won't have that job forever. That person that cut you off was momentary. There's nothing more about that situation that we really even need to talk about. And I use that example a lot because that was me. And I remember getting really angry, and I would hold on to those situations for hours sometimes, depending on how much somebody cut me off, or how, if they flipped me off, or whatever that may be. Maybe we got in a flip off battle. Screw you. And I would hold on to it. But is that really where I want to be? Is that who I want to be? Is that really important? Probably not. So assess where those things are, where they fall. What is the importance? And if it truly is something that's really important, okay, ask yourself, is this something I can control? Control will help you determine if it's something you should even be putting your attention into or not. We've talked about on the show before, if you don't control something and you put your energy there. So, for example, you can't control your boss leaving. You have no control over that. I mean, you may plead, you may like, please stay. I really want you to stay. But at the end of the day, that's all you can do is plead. Like, outside of that, it's up to your boss to decide if your boss is going to stay or go. That's really not in your control. If you put your energy into things that you cannot control, two things happen. It is wasted energy. Literally, you cannot control that. You're wasting your energy. It's gone. It's done. So why are we finding ourselves in this state of that's the second thing. I was about to go into the second thing. You're going to go into a state of suffering. That's it. So it's wasted time, and you go into suffering because you want to control it, but you can't. It's like, oh, I want that person to be president. I don't want my boss to leave. I want that person to stop driving like a moron. I just wish my kids would do this. And we put our energy into these things, but you can't control it, and it puts you into suffering. So why are you putting your energy and time into things that you cannot control? It's a waste of time. So ask yourself, is it something that you even control? And if not, bye. We shouldn't be controlling it. Ask yourself this: does this serve me? This is my favorite. This is my absolute favorite thing to say. Does this serve me to put this energy here? You only have, I think of us like a bubble. You only have so much energy. If you want to put all of this energy into whatever it is that came along, then what are you taking energy away from? Where could you redirect that energy? Does it serve you to be in that state of suffering, to be so anxious and angry? If I asked you, would you rather be upset or would you rather be happy? And I'm being honest. I know it sounds ridiculous, but if I asked you the difference between the two, would you rather be upset or would you rather be happy? You'd say, no, I'd rather be happy. There's nobody that's like, I'd rather be upset. It's just that we're upset and we can't let it go. You just don't know how to let it go. That's why you find yourself upset. But you'd rather be happy. You'd rather be at peace. You'd rather have clarity. So if you ask yourself this, does it serve me to think this way and play that situation through? Does it serve you to be in that level of anxiety? There's nobody that there's no disease like heart failure, diabetes, ulcers that come from being so happy. They don't. But when you are stressed out, when you are upset, that is when things in your body will break down. That is when you get all those wrinkles on your face. So does it serve you to be in that negative state of being? You're only making yourself look older. You're putting your body at risk for other issues. So the answer is no. It doesn't serve you. It's something that's out of your control. In the long run, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't serve you to think that way. It doesn't serve you to be in that state of being. And you just need to let it go. Are you the elephant or are you the mouse? And it's a practice. It's not easy because when things happen and they impact us, we're like, oh. And maybe it's your friend that's done something, someone you really care about. Maybe it's your family or someone at work. Maybe it is just that person that cut you off. But we like to just go about our day and not have things impact us. But the truth is, things are always happening that we don't anticipate. You may fall on the ice and hurt your shoulder. That could happen. Life is always going to be throwing things at you that you didn't see. But is it something you can control? Is it that big in the grand scheme of things? Does it serve you to think that way? And remember that people do make mistakes. People do. So if whatever has happened is a result of someone else, and maybe they even acknowledge that, hey, I shouldn't have done that, let's practice forgiveness. We're human. We're all at the end of the day walking each other home. We all have our own things that we're dealing with. And you never know when you're looking at someone in the face, what is going on behind those eyes. You don't know about their mental health. You don't know about what situation is happening at home. You don't know. And so let's practice on being kind. So if your reaction is you want to just get upset and angry, does it serve you? And does it serve that other person? So that's the message that I wanted to talk about today is letting go. And are you the elephant or are you the mouse? I want you to be the elephant. And when things happen, they all seem so small. So that's okay. And there may be those big things, but choose your battles. Is that where you want to put your energy? So as you go out today and you face that world, I want you to think about being that elephant. Go out and be that big and energetic force in this world. And when things happen, you can allow them to stick to you, or you're like, poof, okay, that's fine. Because I've got a bigger purpose. I have other things that serve me. I'm doing other things. And that is only going to weigh me down. It's going to steal my joy. It's going to take my energy. And you know what? That's not where I want to be. I've got another agenda for myself, and it doesn't have anything to do with that. So with that, I do feel like I should be dancing with this color on. I was just feeling like being colorful this morning. That's all. That's all. So I will see you back here tomorrow. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you back here tomorrow because we are live 5 days a week at 6 a.m., but it is YouTube, so you can tune in whenever you would like. And if you have found value out of this, please drop some notes in the comment. I'd love to drop some notes in the comment, some comments in the notes, some notes in the comments. Is that right? Yeah, some notes in the comments. And I'd love to hear how this impacted you. And you can also email me directly at higherinheels@gmail.com. All right. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you here tomorrow. Cheers.